I'm sure there was a time when you were all at home listening or watching your favourite American show and wondering why the hell are they talking about 90 to 95 degrees? And while for science Celsius is still obviously the better of the two, especially when it comes to measuring water temperature, there is an argument that Fahrenheit is actually a more representative measure for humans. Even though they call their fucking baseball series the World Series and they wear jeans in their house, America actually isn't responsible for this nonsense. No, like most of the problems in the world today, geopolitically, it was the British who caused all this. The Americans simply inherited the system that the rest of the world had been using up to that point, which had been Fahrenheit. Celsius came along slightly later, a standardized approach for scientists to measure between 0 and 100 at the temperature of water, but this never really caught on in America. The metric system is objectively better for standardization, conversion, and scientific measurement, but temperature's not always about that. For example, on this scale, Fahrenheit just looks like a bunch of babbling nonsense. I mean, what the fuck is 212 doing there? But as I said earlier, it does make more sense for humans. For example, 0 is extremely cold, 100 is extremely hot, 50 is somewhere in the middle, about 12 degrees. The funny thing, it was actually designed by accident. Daniel Fahrenheit wanted 100 degrees to be the human body temperature and 0 degrees to be pretty much the coldest temperature you'd ever get in Europe. But he failed a little bit. He must have had a flu that day because in Fahrenheit, human body temperature is actually 98.5 degrees. Just to rub in the pain for old Daniel, turned out it could actually get colder than 0 in Europe anyway, so his scale was kind of useless. Like him. So if it's only good for that one purpose, then why do Americans still use it? Surely it's just easier to standardize it around the world. Well, they're not actually the only ones who still use it. Belize in the Caribbean, famed to the famous blue frickin' hole thing, still use it as well, but considering there's only about 2 million people there, not really a fair comparison. Reason number one is obviously just convenience. Americans aren't going to change a system that's worked for them for 250 years, even if the rest of the world will never be able to quite understand it. But another reason people don't consider is the massive temperature variations that are seen throughout so much of the US. As you can see in this map above, which is actually one of my favourite data maps, there is so much of the seasonal variation in the American temperatures, particularly in the Midwest region. So having a bigger temperature range makes more sense for these regions, as you realistically can get both 0 and 100. Who knows, maybe America will one day decide to change, but seeing how things are going there, I somehow doubt that.